Hi, I'm JP Shamshoyan, owner and CEO of Realty Concepts. Thank you so much for considering one of our top-notch realtors to help you find a property. Starting in August of 2024, the decades-long structure of residential real estate transactions is undergoing some important changes, especially pertaining to the way that real estate agents are compensated. In the past, the basic way that just about every buyer in America found a home went something like this. The buyer chose an agent to help them buy. That agent used the MLS to find properties that met the buyer's needs. The listing agent, who represented the seller, negotiated a total commission with the seller and agreed to share a portion of that commission with the buyer's agent, thus compensating the buyer's agent through the commission that the seller was already paying. Buyer's agents would use the MLS to search for homes for their clients, and they knew exactly how much they would be compensated for their work because the information was readily available on the MLS. Agents could show any house their client wanted without any additional paperwork or negotiations because the terms of the interaction between agent and client were made clear up front. If you've bought or sold a home in America in the last 50 years, you're very familiar with this setup. The seller paid the listing broker paid the buyer's broker, and everything was clear and transparent from the start. All of that has changed. Moving forward, sellers will sign commission terms that only cover the listing agent's commission. Meanwhile, you, the buyer, will be free to negotiate with your agent to determine how much he or she will get paid for his or her loyalty, confidentiality, disclosure, obedience, care, diligence, and accounting. All of the things that fulfill your agent's fiduciary duty to you, plus your agent's skill, expertise, and of course, their time. Now here's the key part. By law, realtors must have a signed agreement with their buyers prior to showing you properties. The agreement has to stipulate things like how much the agent will be paid, what services the agent will offer, and how long the agreement lasts. This isn't a company rule or an association of realtors rule. This is a rule that stems from an agreement between the realtor associations, the largest national brokerages, and the United States Department of Justice. In other words, neither realtors nor buyers can afford to take this rule lightly. So what does this mean for you, the buyer? A few things. One, you'll need to negotiate with your agent to determine the scope and length of your engagement, how much your agent will be paid, and how your agent will be paid. There are several different forms that cover different types of arrangements, but buyers will most often use a form called the Buyer Representation and Broker Compensation Agreement, or the BRBC. You're likely used to the idea of a realtor listing a house for sale based on pre-agreed terms. Now, realtors must go through the same process prior to representing a buyer, and that means that your realtor may not show you homes without having some kind of an agreement in place. 2, you can no longer take it for granted that the seller will pay your agent's commission. You must take this into account when you negotiate the terms of your agreement with your agent. Offers of commission are no longer guaranteed by the seller, and they are no longer published in the MLS. Instead, if you need the seller to pay your agent in order to satisfy the terms of your agreement with your agent, that request will be incorporated into your offer for the property. 3, don't stress out. In my estimation, and in the estimation of most industry observers, it is going to be very, very common for buyers to request for sellers to pay their agents' commissions. Very few buyers have enough cash to cover a down payment, closing costs, furniture and finishes, and pay their realtor a fair commission. As such, I anticipate that in the vast majority of transactions, the seller will still pay the buyer's agent. 4, with that said, when you sign your agreement with your agent, it is a binding contract. Our company policy will not allow your agent to accept less in payment than what is negotiated with you when you sign your agreement. So if you find your dream home and the seller refuses to pay the amount that you've negotiated with your agent, you will be obligated to come out of pocket to satisfy the terms of that contract. Don't fear though. You're working with a highly trained, highly skilled Realty Concepts agent. We know how to get your offer accepted on terms that work for all parties. We've got your back. If this all seems confusing and strange, well, it is. We don't make the rules, but we do have to play by them. It's likely that you didn't anticipate this process being different when you set out to buy your home. I want to apologize for the added layer of stress and uncertainty that this may cause. We're in the early days of a new way of doing business in the real estate world, and we appreciate your trust and your patience while we all get used to this new system together. You don't need to be fearful of this change. Your Realty Concepts agent is a skilled expert in their field, and I invite you to trust that they have your best interests at heart. I hope that you'll agree that they deserve to be compensated fairly for their time, their skill, their care, and their expertise. With that in mind, these buyer representation agreements are the new normal to ensure that you receive top-notch representation and that your agent gets paid for their work. However you negotiate your agreement with your agent, rest easy knowing that Realty Concepts, our nearly 600 agents, our fully stocked staff and management team, all of our related service companies, and I personally remain by your side and here for you 100%. If you have any questions about the process, your agent is a great resource. But if you have more questions than they can answer, just call us and one of our sales managers will gladly walk you through your options. Thanks again for your trust and for your business. Best of luck with the purchase of your property.